All right. You know, April 17th is looming. Have you done your taxes? Yikes! What's a 1099-C? I'm not asking you. I'm just wondering if you know. ASK-A-CPA. It's time to do that now. Top 5 tax questions. Michael Rosedale, founder and president of CPAdirectory.com. Boy, this has got to be a busy dude these days.
This is the time of the year.
Oh my God, look how calm you are. Have you been drinking?
No.
Not yet. I'm kidding.
Maybe right after this episode.
Yeah, depending on how it goes with Harris Faulkner, right? 5 top tax questions. Let's put them up on the screen if we have them. By the way, there's an app for that?
Sure. We just launched 3 weeks ago the ASK-A-CPA app. It's free to download and free to use. It's on iPhone now. It's coming out on Android in like 5 weeks. And basically you can ask any question you want. And if you type in the question, hit the send button, all right, the answer will be received directly to you from a local CPA.
Give me an example.
All right. Well, for example, people are asking questions like old questions that I call them the oldies but goodies. What it is like it's a question that kind of exists, but it's based upon old tax law that is not around anymore. For example, can I income average? Well, you can't income average anymore. That hasn't been around since 1986. But people ask that question all the time.
What is income average?
Income averaging is where you take some of the years where you made less money, and now you've made a lot of money, and you kind of want to pay less at a lower tax rate.
No, you know what we call that?
What?
Fantasy. Right? Or, as you just put it, illegal. Okay, a 1099-C.
Right.
Somebody just got this from their credit card company. What is that?
Yeah. What happens is, unfortunately, a lot of people are hurting out there financially, and they're settling off their credit card debt.
Okay.
So what happens is they don't realize that at the end of the year, the amount of credit card debt that they did not pay and settled off with the credit card company is going to be reported to the IRS. And that's going to be considered income on your tax return.
Okay, another question. Can I deduct the mortgage interest and real estate taxes I paid for my adult child who has been out of work?
No, unfortunately, if you're not on the mortgage or you're not on the title of the house, you cannot deduct that on your tax return.
Well, if that were true, though, couldn't you, like, go live with your neighbors? Right? And they could deduct you?
Nice try.
Yeah, okay. I gave my children the annual gift tax exclusion of $13,000 to help them pay some bills. Wow. Where do I deduct the $13,000 gift on my tax return?
All right, here's the deal. People misunderstand what the gift tax exclusion is. All right, and that's why you need to hire a local CPA. What happens is that the gift tax exclusion is actually the maximum amount of money that you're allowed to gift to an individual without having to file a gift tax return. But the good news is that you can actually give someone or multiple people this year over $5 million, up to $5,120,000 and pay no tax. But you must file a gift tax return. And it's just an information return.
Okay, sounds simple enough. Can I postpone the gain on the sale of my house if I buy another home within a year? Let's talk about this slowly for a second.
Okay.
Because there are not a lot of people who are even able to sell their homes at this point. So when they do get a gain or a proceed back from that sale, they kind of want to hang on to it.
Right. Well, this is an old rule also, which doesn't exist anymore. But the law is actually more lenient now. If you're single, the first $250,000 of gain on the sale of your house, like you said, if you're lucky to have that, is tax-free. And if you're married filing jointly, the first $500,000 is tax-free. The only catch is you must have lived in that house 2 out of the last 5 years. The bad news is, like you said, Harris, is that many people are underwater in the house.
Oh, sure.
And if they sell their house, you are not allowed to take the loss on the sale of your house.
So wait a minute, the government gets a, okay.
Well, it's kind of even.
Here I am, I'm mad now. So the government gets a piece of your gain, but...
No, actually, it's fair. What the left hand does, the right hand, yes, because you don't have to pay the tax on the gain.
As long as you buy another house.
No, see, that's the old rule. That's the rule that people misunderstand. You do not have to buy another house. That's an old rule from 1986. But people still hang on to these old ideas.
Right, unless it's more than $250,000 for a single person.
Right, and if your gain exceeds the $250,000...
Right.
In which case you don't care anyway because you're rolling.
Yeah, because then you're making some good money.
Right.
Rich people don't care about taxes? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, boy. Okay, here we go. Taxes on Social Security income.
Well, not everybody has to pay Social Security, a tax on Social Security, but there are income limitations. So what happens is, as you make more and more money, up to 85% of your Social Security can be taxable.
Well, that was a simple answer. Okay. Allure USA wants to know, how do you file an extension? Uh-oh, wait a minute, it's not even April 1st yet. You still have several weeks to get this done.
Harris, this is very important.
Okay.
You have 6 months to extend the filing deadline for actually sending in your return.
Does it cost money to extend?
There's no, but here's the most important thing that people don't know.
Okay.
You do not get an extension to pay the tax. You have to pay all the tax by April 17th.
Well,
if you don't know what that is, you have to estimate it and send the money in with your extension.
what if you're wrong? Well, let's say you overpay. Do they send you the money back with interest?
The
No.
Well, that's another conversation. But
Okay.
the idea is that if you don't pay all the money in, you're going to get penalized and owe a lot of interest on the amount.
So even though you didn't get the long form done, or the short form, or whatever you got to do, you still have to estimate what you owe and pay.
Yes, yes.
And if you're short, what happens?
You're going to get a notice from the collection department of the IRS after you file the return that says you owe the balance of this money.
And it'll have late fees and everything
Yes,
else left
correct,
on it.
correct.
Oh, goodness gracious. So, your advice for people, though, because there have been some changes on the books, what do we need to know about for this year?
Well, what you need to know about this year is the time to plan for 2012 is now, not afterwards. Like a lot of people now, when they come to do their taxes, they want to know what they can do to save
make it
money.
better next year.
Right.
Yeah.
But the time to do the planning is during the year.
Yeah.
And my best advice is to go to ASK-A-CPA, find a local accountant, and check them out, and hopefully they'll be able to guide you.
All right. Not to put you too much on the spot here before I let you go, what is an amount of money that seems fair to pay to get your taxes done? No, seriously, because I mean it can be anywhere from $50 to $500, and people don't know, well, really, what are you paying for?
Well, believe it or not, CPAs don't charge any more than the national chains. A typical return in the New York area can cost anywhere from $250 and up.
Okay,
right?
That means in Pocatello, Idaho, it's free. Because everything is more expensive in New York. No, I'm being facetious.
And is it easier to avoid death or taxes? That's what I want to know, because I hear you can't avoid either. How do you get out of taxes altogether? Can a CPA help you with that?
A CPA can help minimize your taxes. However, they're not magicians. Okay?
Right,
And
okay.
sometimes when clients come in, they like to think that I'm a magician, I have a magic pen. But it doesn't work that way.
All right. Okay, the goal is to stay out of prison. AskACPA.pro is the website.
Correct.
Which I didn't even know they had .pro. I
Yep.
need to come up to speed. But also, here's the Ask a CPA app. Go there. And Michael Rosedale, founder and president of CPAdirectory.com. Good to see you here this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much for
being
the
here,
opportunity.
for being on the spot with some of our questions.